So now we will discuss about etiopathogenesis of the acute lymphoid leukemia. So what is the etiopathogenesis of the acute lymphoid leukemia? So here I would like to tell you, I will divide these things into two categories: etiology and pathogenesis. Right? Etiology I will sum up one place. Pathogenesis I will divide them into two segments. Right? So first I will tell you what are the basic etiology. So etiology number one is the radiation exposure, right? So because of the radiation exposure, this patient will develop, or person will develop, acute lymphoid leukemia. So radiation exposure or chemical substances exposure. So certain chemicals are strongly associated with, and they are benzene, right? So benzene chemical exposure is also responsible for the ALL. Then there are certain hereditary syndromes. So what are these hereditary syndromes? Number one and most important is the Down syndrome, right? So Down syndrome is associated with, so Down syndrome, so here we need to understand Down syndrome, Turner syndrome. Down syndrome, Turner syndrome was JIPMER question. So that's keep in mind, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome. This was All India question 2015, right? So Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, all of the above are responsible for acute lymphoid leukemia. That was the question in All India exam 2015, right? So examiner asked this question like this. Apart from this, we should remember Fanconi's anemia, and ataxia telangiectasia. So these are the some of the important hereditary disorders associated with acute lymphoid leukemia, right? So this is the etiology for ALL. Now we are going to see the pathogenesis. So before we start pathogenesis, I would like to compare, right? I would like to compare the pathogenesis of two different type of ALL, right? So pathogenesis of two different type of ALL. One side we will talk about B type of ALL, and second we will talk about T type of ALL. So B cell type and T cell type of ALL, what will be pathogenesis, right? So now we are going to compare what will be the pathogenesis. So here in type B type of ALL, right? So we all know that it is the most common type of the ALL, B type of ALL. So basic pathology in B type of ALL is the hyperploidy because of the PAX5 mutation. So there is a B cell transcription factor. If you remember, in immunology we have read there are transcription factor PAX5 gene, right? So because of the PAX5 gene mutation, there will be hyperdiploidy, right? So there will be hyperdiploidy. Hyperdiploidy means chromosome number is more than 50, right? So hyperdiploidy is the most common cytogenetic change. Remember, this is the most common cytogenetic change in B type of ALL. So that is the another important MCQ which examiner may ask. So what is the most common cytogenetic change in B type of ALL? Hyperdiploidy, right? So because of the PAX5 gene mutation, there will be hyperdiploidy, and this can be the pathogenesis for the B type of ALL, right? Same way for T type of ALL, here you will be seeing there is a mutation in Notch gene. So mutation in Notch gene is responsible for T cell type of ALL, right? So now we can make it out. This was the question in previous year PGI and AIMS both exam. PAX5 is for B type of ALL. Notch is associated with T type of ALL, right? So in this pathogenesis we are seeing PAX5 mutation is responsible for hyperdiploidy. There is a one more change which will be seen in this is the translocation 1221, right? So translocation 1221 will be translocation from gene called ETV6 to RANX1. So this translocation is running from the ETB6 gene to RUNX1 gene, right? So T1221, where translocation of ETB6 gene to RUNX1 gene will be there, and that is another important pathogenetic mechanism for the B type of ALL, right? So hyperdiploidy, translocation 1221, all these things, and then hypodiploidy is also associated, right? So hypodiploidy is also associated with the ALL, right? So these are the for B type of ALL, this is for T type of ALL, right? Now in this same line, we will discuss about their features also, right? So what are the clinical features you will see? What are the clinical features you will observe in B cell type of ALL and T cell type of ALL? So again, I'm writing so that we can understand that I'm talking about B cell type of T cell type of ALL, right? So B cell type of ALL, right? B cell type of ALL will be commonly seen in age group of 2 to 5 years old. So patient will be 2 to 5 years old, right? 2 to 5 years old. Whereas T type of ALL will be commonly seen in adolescent age group, that is 13 to 17 years, right? So there will be adolescent age group 13 to 17 years, right? So 13 to 17 years, whereas it will be younger age group 2 to 5 years. Talk about the presentation. When you will see the presentation of B cell type of ALL, basic presentation is involvement of the bone marrow, and they will be presenting with the pancytopenia, right? Anemia or pancytopenia. So here we will see there will be bone marrow involvement. So bone marrow or peripheral blood will be involved, and that is why they will be presenting with anemia or pancytopenia. So this will be presentation for these patients, right? So bone marrow or peripheral blood examination will be showing features of anemia or pancytopenia in B type of ALL. T type of ALL, as I said, they will be adolescent, and in them presentation, the most common presentation, if you ask me what is the most common presentation, that was All India 2012 question. Most common presentation is the mediastinal mass. In exam they may write thymic mass in a 13-year-old boy, right? So that is how question had been asked in older All India exam, right? Older All India exam question was, in a 13-year-old boy there is a thymic mass, which means mediastinal mass. Most likely which type of ALL? T type of ALL, right? So T type of ALL, mediastinal mass involvement will be there, right? What are the other things we will be seeing here in case of T type of ALL? Remember, not only the mediastinum, there will be involvement of the CNS also, right? So CNS involvement, which will be presented with headache, vomiting, seizure, all these things, right? So they will be having headache, vomiting, right? Seizure, all these things will be presenting, right? All these things will be presenting cranial nerve palsies. So because of the CNS involvement, right? And then testicular involvement, right? So testis involvement will be also commonly seen in T type of ALL, right? So mediastinal, CNS, testicular involvement or other organ involvement will be commonly seen in T type of ALL, right? So these are the presentation wise. Overall, when I am talking about overall, so these are B cell type and T cell type, some of the specific feature. Right now we are going to see overall what are the other presentations, what are the other clinical features which will be seen in generally in both type of the ALL, right? Because of the anemia, right? So because of the anemia, what are the other signs and symptoms? When anemia is there, patient will be having fatigability and irritability. Because of the immature platelet will be there, so that is why there will be a thrombocytopenia, platelet count will be decreased, right? So in this, platelet count will be decreased and patient will be presenting with bleeding disorder, right? Patient will be presenting with bleeding disorders. Here I want to tell you one important thing, that CNS involvement, testicular involvement and mediastinal involvement, all these involvement or organ involvement will be commonly seen in ALL, and this is also seen in AML. So examiner will ask you one question, where it is commonly affected, where it will be commonly involving. So all these organs are involved. We can remember like this, all are associated with ALL. So all are more commonly associated with, so all are most commonly associated with ALL. So when you are comparing this versus AML, right, versus AML, ALL is more commoner than AML, right? So always remember all these organ involvement is more common in all. That is the mnemonic. All is common in all. All is common in all. All means CNS, testicular mediastinal involvement will be seen in both ALL and AML, right? But all these organ involvement will be most commonly seen in acute lymphoid leukemia, right? And when these organs are involved, you always remember prognosis will be poor. Prognosis will be poor. So they will be having poorer prognosis, right? So these are the some of the general features. Now we'll see how to approach for diagnosis of the B type of ALL. So how we are going to diagnose B ALL versus T ALL, right? So B type of ALL, what are the things we are going to see, and in T type of ALL, what are we are going to see in diagnostic point of view, right? So number one and most important thing is immunophenotyping, right? CD marker. So when you will evaluate them for immunophenotyping, B type of ALL will be positive for CD10, CD19 to 24. So remember, 24 is also a marker of B cell. That was the DNB question in 2014, right? So 19 to 24 is the marker of B cell. CD10, which we are seeing, right? CD10 is also known as Kala. CD10 is also known as Kala. So which tumor is Kala positive? Examiner asked this question. Which of the following tumor is Kala positive? So it is B type of ALL which is Kala positive. Right? What is the significance of the Kala and what is this Kala stands for? Kala is nothing. C stands for common. Right? ALL. A stands for antigen. So common ALL antigen. Common ALL antigen. Kala, it means Kala is positive antigen. So this type of BALL will be having good prognosis. So Kala positivity is suggestive of good prognosis. That point we have to keep in mind, right? So Kala is having good prognosis, and that is the important question which examiner asked in our exam. So B type of ALL and T type of ALL, what is common to them? They will be also positive for this terminal deoxytransferase, TDT. This is called terminal deoxytransferase. So terminal deoxytransferase will be positive for, this will be positive for both pre-B and pre-T cells. So both pre-B and pre-T cells will be positive for terminal deoxytransferase. Right, so terminal deoxytransferase will be positive for both pre-B and pre-T cells, right? So along with TDT, when you are finding CD10, 19 to 24 positive, so that will be suggestive of the B cell type of leukemia, lymphoma, right? And now when you are going to see T type of ALL, what will be immunophenotyping in T type of ALL? So in here in T type of ALL, immunophenotyping will be positive for CD1, 2, 5, 7 and terminal deoxytransferase. So these are the markers which will be present in TDT, right? So TALL also it will be positive for all these markers, right? Molecular cytogenetics, when you will see what I am saying, when you are going to analyze them for molecular cytogenetics, on molecular cytogenetic analysis, you will observe they are showing BALL is showing PAX5 mutation. Right, so BALL will be showing PAX5 mutation, whereas T type of ALL will be showing Notch gene mutation. Right, so Notch gene mutation will be seen in T type of ALL. Overall, when we talk about B cell versus T cell, B cell will be having good prognosis. B cell is having good prognosis. T cell will be having bad prognosis. So these are the important point about B cell versus T cell. So now we have seen etiopathogenesis. In that etiology we have read, then pathogenesis we have read, and then we have seen the clinical feature of the B cell and T cell, right? In the last we are going to discuss about the good and bad prognostic features of the ALL. So what are the good prognostic features? and what are the bad prognostic features of any given case of ALL. So when to say that it is having good prognosis and when to say that it is having bad prognosis. So what are the features for the good and bad? So bad prognosis, when you are talking about age group between 2 to 10 years, they will be having good prognosis, right? Age, if it is less than 2 years or if it is more than 10 years, that will be having bad prognosis, right? So 2 to 10 years, good prognosis. Less than 2 year or more than 10 years, this will be having bad prognosis for the ALL, right? Now here we will understand, if you blackmail anybody, right? If you blackmail anybody, that is a bad habit, bad prognosis, right? So that is the mnemonic, bad prognosis, blackmail, right? Black means black race, right? Male means gender, right? So race, black, gender, male. So opposite will be white, race, female, gender, good prognosis. So white race, female gender, good prognosis. Black race, male gender, bad prognosis, right? On clinical basis, when you are seeing clinical feature, right? When you are seeing clinical feature and there is an involvement of the mediastinum, testis or CNS. So when these organs are involved, mediastinal, testicular or CNS involvement is present, it's bad prognosis, and when these organs are not involved, this will be considered as good prognosis, right? So on the basis of the clinical feature. Now we will see what are the cytogenetics. In cytogenetics, what are the good things and bad things? Cytogenetics, whenever we find hyperdiploidy, remember, whenever we see hyperdiploidy, chromosome number is more than 50, hyperdiploidy is good prognosis, right? Hyperdiploidy is good prognosis, whereas hypodiploidy, when chromosome number is less than 50, they are called as hypodiploidy, and hypodiploidy is unfavorable, poor prognosis. Hyperdiploidy, good prognosis. Hypodiploidy, bad prognosis, right? After that, translocations, right? So after that, trisomy, right? So trisomy 4, 7, 10. So trisomy of 4, 7, 10 will be carrying good prognosis. This can be your future question also in your exam, and this we can remember by a mnemonic, tri. See, this name itself is a mnemonic, trisomy. Tri means there are 3 chromosomes. There are 3 chromosomes which starts after 3, and interval between them is also 3. So trisomy 4, 7, 10, right? So trisomy 4, 7, 10 is for good prognosis, right? Then translocations, right? So whenever you find translocation 9 to 12, right? So 9 to 12 is a show time, right? Whenever you go for 9 to 12 movie, it's a good thing, right? We enjoy our time. 9 to 12 is a good, right? After coming 12 o'clock, what you are going to see? You are going to see the mirror, and what is the mirror image of 12? 21. So these were the good days in our life when we used to go for movies by 9 to 12, coming to 12 o'clock and then watching us into the mirror and giving the mirror replica 21. So 12, 21 is good prognosis. 9 to 12, 12 to 21 is good prognosis. But keep that in mind, certain translocations like 814, this is seen in Burkitt's lymphoma. 814, poor prognosis, seen in Burkitt lymphoma. Translocation 922, which is usually we see in CMLs. In CML it is good, in ALL it is bad, right? So translocation 922 will be carrying bad prognosis. Just mark it. I will tell you something about this in the end, right? So translocation 814, 922, translocation 119. So all these are poor prognostic markers, right? So these are all poor prognostic marker for the ALL. Already we have discussed, if it is a B type of ALL, right? If it is a B type of ALL, it is good prognosis. And if it is a T type of ALL where thymus, mediastinum, testicular involvement is there, they will be carrying bad prognosis. And specifically, I would like to tell you, Kala positive is the good prognostic sign. So many times you will be seeing the report from the patients, right? Kala positive, and he will be asking you, sir, Kala positive, what will be my prognosis? Good prognosis. Kala positive is good prognosis, and Kala positive is which CD marker? CD10. So CD10 is Kala positive, and whenever it is seen, it will be suggestive of good prognosis, right? In B type of ALL, not all B are good. It is only early B type of ALL will be having good prognosis, because there are pre-B ALL. So precursor B type of ALL and mature B cell type of ALL, both will be having poorer prognosis. So these were PGI questions, right? So now we have to keep that in mind. These were PGI question. Early B ALL will be having good prognosis. Precursor B ALL and mature B ALL will be having poorer prognosis, right? So this table is very important. Before you go to any exam, I will suggest you must try to revise good versus bad prognostic feature in a case of acute lymphoid leukemia, right? So that will be definitely a helpful thing in your exam. So this table is very important. You must revise. And one of the very frequently asked question in older time used to be the hypo and hyperdiploidy. So hyperdiploidy is good prognosis, hypodiploidy is bad prognosis. So these are the older questions very frequently asked in All India exam. And trisomy and all these cytogenetic changes, I presume that this can be our future question in exam. Here I have told 922. What is the importance of this 922? 922, so this is one extra H point we need to remember. Translocation 922 will form protein called BCR ABL fusion gene, right? So what I have said, this will be seen in ALL also, and this will be seen in CML also, right? What I have said, ALL it will be having bad prognosis, CML it will be having good prognosis. This was the question in All India 2015, right? So that was the question. CML, BCR ABL or Philadelphia chromosome is good prognostic, right? So this was the question in All India 2015. Translocation 922 BCR ABL, which is also known as Philadelphia chromosome, right? So this is also called as Philadelphia chromosome. So this Philadelphia chromosome will be suggestive of good prognosis in case of CML, bad prognosis in case of ALL. So what is the difference between this BCR ABL fusion gene of ALL and CML? So that is the molecular weight. So if you look at the molecular weight number one, you will notice ALL is having molecular weight of 190 kilodalton. This is the size of the ALL BCR ABL fusion gene. Whereas the same BCR ABL fusion gene in case of CML will be weighing 210 kilodalton, right? So this will be weighing 210. So 190 and 210. This is the one difference. Second difference, this ALL BCR ABL whose weight is 190, they are stronger. They will be having a stronger tyrosine kinase activity. So in them you will be finding a stronger tyrosine kinase activity. So a stronger tyrosine kinase activity will be present in case of ALL, whereas in case of CML, they will be having weaker tyrosine kinase activity. So tyrosine kinase activity is the another important difference. So whenever we are seeing, so just keep that in mind. Whenever we are seeing BCR ABL, two things we have to keep in mind about molecular weight and tyrosine kinase activity. Tyrosine kinase activity will be stronger in case of the ALL, weaker in case of the CML, and that is why they are having good prognosis, right? So these are important points about ALL.